I actually love the idea of process mining technology.
Mm.
And the answer is it is there. There is technology there that you can point onto computer desktops, that you can watch and monitor everything that's happening, that it can use AI to come up with the best optimal process possible, as long as you can configure the AI to say it's not just about being really efficient, but it's about delivering profitable outcomes. It's about delivering a great customer experience, and it's about delivering a great staff experience. And as customers, or as the market changes, wouldn't it be amazing, Irene, if the AI was intelligent enough to think forward and start to adjust the process and the automation and the code and the web forms and the suggestions as to next best action and the training and the requirements all around everything that's happening, as if the AI was a pulse or a checker of the pulse in the business all the time. The process mining tool looking at the arteries of the business and see how that exists, with that AI acting as the heart and the direction and the head and the judgment and the decision-making tool to help the organization, its people in the business, navigate forward. That's the bit where I describe as not so much predictive, understanding what's happening, but prescriptive. I see where you need to go and start automatically adjusting a living, breathing system underneath the hub of all of that technology and enterprise buildings and culture and whatever else.
You know, you mentioned process mining, right? For many people out there, it's still a new discipline, believe it or not. I'm familiar because of my professional background, and to me, the most exciting part in process mining is the discovery phase, like you said, when people do things because they do things like this forever, right? They don't think of it as a process, right? And not yet all of a sudden, right? Technology helping to unveil, hey, we do it this way, right? And it takes this much time, this much resources, right? What can we do to streamline that bottleneck? Let me use that language, right? So this is amazing. This is truly, truly amazing. So with process mining, discovering, right? Next comes what? Optimization. Right, getting better.
It's a little bit. I would even go. It's quite interesting because again, there's different theories as to how you should approach something. And you're right, people aren't necessarily so attracted to process mining because it's a little bit of looking backwards, where a lot of people actually want to look forwards and find the next nice shiny thing. But it's a bit like a journey. If you don't understand where you're coming from, you can't really work out where you're going to. And that's the piece where the process mining tool is fantastic for identifying what are we currently doing. Because before people start to optimize a process, and I do worry about that, Irene, because sometimes I see automation technologies like robotic process automation or some workflows been put on top of an existing process. And I describe that as a little bit like putting lipstick on a pig. In other words, it's a pig of a process. And by putting that RPA or IA or whatever workflow technology on top, what you've done is made it prettier, but it's still a pig of a process. It's slow, it's inefficient, or whatever else. I'm a tremendous fan of actual elimination. To go back to your point a moment ago, why have we been doing what we've been doing for years? And is it actually adding value? Very few people look back to decide that. What you can do from process mining technology in particular is actually get tremendous business benefit by simply identifying and eliminating redundant processes or eliminating parts of redundant processes. I have to give you a funny story. I was using this type of technology 10, 15 years ago, or a variation of it in process mining and mapping. I brought 14 people in a room to look at an insurance renewal process. And we sat with a team of people, and one person turned around and said, I print that report out, I then bind it, and my manager spends 2 hours, it takes me 2 hours to do it, and my manager then spends another hour and a half checking it every day. To which the manager went, I haven't looked at that in 2 years. So that individual had spent 2 hours a day, 220 days a year, printing, binding, and doing whatever. And the look on their face was one of, I wasn't too sure it was relief they didn't have to do it again. Or
what
whether
a waste. Yes, what a
waste of my time. But it's stuff like that if you eliminate what's there first, then you understand where you're at and whether the processes add value. Understand your business outcome, because that has to be your North Star. And then optimize the processes that you need to deliver that great customer and employee experience to get you from A to B.